Hello, hello. This is the LEGO Juniors City Central Airport set. One set gives you all of this stuff. It's probably more different individual things than LEGO has put into a single airport set ever. However, it is a Juniors set, so every single thing is very simple and easy to build. Where should we start? I'm going to start with one of the airplanes. This is a passenger jet, and it holds all of one passenger, plus the pilot up there. Interestingly, this actually has enough room to move the pilot seat forward and allow a second passenger to sit in there. So you can put 3 people into this small plane if you want, and that works out just fine, I think. 2 big jet engines on the sides. That is printed right there, that logo. This is printed on the tail. It's printed on the other side as well. The logo they chose reminds me of the Lufthansa logo in real life. There are no controls per se for the aircraft, but you do get a nice console in the front. And all of this, being a junior set, is based on a kind of singular piece for most of it. So all the white that you see here is literally one piece of plastic. Just gets you started very quickly and easily, which is important for young kids because there's so much stuff in this set. There are so many pieces, so many bags of pieces that they're going to run out of patience pretty quickly if they're not able to get success, especially for the target market. So I think this is off to a good start. Next up, we have a twin propeller-powered cargo plane with a very nice print on its nose, although that is a fairly old-looking part up there. You can spin up each of the propellers, of course, and it has a big cargo box on the back. It's a little bit awkward looking, but it does have a good amount of space in it, at least, to put real stuff in there. And they give you some cargo to put in there. This is just an example of a pair of things. So this is a box that's being shipped, like by mail. This one actually has a print on the top of it, and when you open this up, well, this has some precious cargo inside of it. That crate has 3 gems, and those gems are included here as well, so you can integrate that with some of your other play. Once again, this is built on a single piece, so all of the green that you see from underneath here, except for the tail, is that same piece again, just in a different color. Works out actually really well. Normally this would require so many pieces to put it together, and I think that this is a good use of a limited number of parts for this target market for younger kids. And you get a different console piece there in the front, and just a single figure fits into the cockpit, which is open just to make it easy, so you don't have a roof piece that you have to remove and then that will get lost, or if there are multiple pieces it might get broken. That can be frustrating. I'm fine with it being open like this. The actual airport terminal is again pretty small and made from a minimum number of pieces, with this entire white frame on the front being one piece. You put the doors and windows into it and these lights up there, but most of that is one piece. Most of the base is one piece, and there's another base over on the right. But in spite of how small and simple it is, this actually has at least as many features as most of the airport sets that LEGO has made for older kids in recent years or in recent memory. So it has the air traffic control tower up here with the rotating radar bar. It has a windsock here you can actually rotate around. This is the main entry door for passengers. Got even a couple little potted plants or shrubs on the sides. These are print. They have access for a figure to get up to the air traffic control tower with this ladder here. It's simple, but hey, it's better than having nothing, like most LEGO sets do these days that have a second floor. Most of them just force you to use your imagination completely, but this lets you use imagination, but also just do this. That's so much better than having nothing whatsoever and having to kind of teleport your figures up there. Kids like to have just at least something. This is either a security counter or just a ticket counter. I prefer to see it as just a ticket counter, place you can go in and purchase your ticket or do a check-in. And it has a clip to hold on to a Minifigures walkie-talkie radio unit there. They've got a console there, and I'll show you that ticket piece. That's actually a new printed piece. I also want to show you the console for the air traffic controller up there, which shows a radar display so kids can make the connection between the radar itself that's up above, and they can see how that rotates around, and it's going to be creating the image on the screen. So that is good. they have the smallest waiting lounge here with just 2 seats. The passenger there has a little snack in the form of a croissant that is just sitting on the side. I'm not sure where we purchased that from though. And then you have the baggage conveyor over here. Now this is nice, and it's kind of a fancy piece to include in, or fancy assembly to include in a junior set, because this actually works. It'll move the baggage in or out. So if you move it this way, it's just going to drop it off on the ground over here. If you go the other way, then it can take it all the way out. You can just kind of figure out which way you want this to go, or how you want that to be set up to work with your terminal, with your runway. You can have a little baggage truck just come right up to this, and for loading up the planes, that'll go, wow, it's perfect. It just drops right in there. So from there, I guess I might as well take you to looking at just the little baggage truck, cart, train thing. Just has a couple trailers on it. These rotate around, and you can put 2 of these suitcases in each of these, or some other small things. Or you can even transport passengers to and from an airport if you want. There's enough space to put a figure in each of these, and a driver just sits or stands up there at the front. Again, very simple, using the little Mighty Micros bases here. So all the yellow here is one piece, and all the gray underneath is one piece, but it does the job. It works, and they include, for cargo for the passengers, they include 3 suitcases, 1 in brown, 1 in light gray, and then 1 in black. Plus, they also introduced this piece of luggage that I've never seen before. That's interesting. It's much larger. Does require that a figure holding it kind of trail it from behind them, but this is wheeled luggage, and look at that. It's a new thing. Sorry for dropping it there, but yeah, it's a new thing, and it actually opens as well, just like the others, just like the old suitcases do, or briefcases. This will open up, and you can put something inside of it, like a tile piece. A 1x2 tile will fit inside of that with a little extra room. So that's cool, and it's nice to get a new piece compared to the old ones that have less room, but still look pretty good, and it gives you a little bit of variety for luggage. The set has you build this refueling truck, which has a simple starter base piece, familiar part if you're familiar with Lego Junior stuff, just done in black here. And this has 3 prints, so 1 for this slope, that's got the print on the front, and then on this side has that nice wave for the Octan kind of company logo there. I don't think I've seen that before. That's a 1x4 brick piece. They also have a second one of these tiles on the back, but this can actually be used because you can take this nozzle out and connect it to a plane. There are plenty of places where there are studs, so you can just connect that up directly to that. Or if you want, you can imagine that you need to put some fuel into an external fuel tank for use with with this guy, so you can actually hook it up to this, or you can just leave some fuel behind for it with this fuel can that is on a separate little build, so you can attach right to there like that. That's what I was going for. And they have a fire extinguisher there, a couple of tools as well for doing some maintenance on the aircraft. And up above, this has a couple of lights, large lights that can be rotated around to give you the angle that you want. So that allows you to do some maintenance and have some safety in the evening time, or if light is at a premium. And if you need more light than that, well, they've got you covered, because they have a second one that you build at the same time. And this really helps you to create your runway, taxiway, and maintenance area, and just to add a lot of realism to it, a lot of believability with the extra structures around the side. This is a garbage can and a couple of the light wands, I guess, that can be used for guiding aircraft in and out from the terminal. They even include a set of wheels with 3 bricks stacked on top. This took me a second to figure out. What are they going for here? Are they just trying to make you think that, well, you've got some wheels here, so build something on it? No, this is actually intended to be a set of stairs to help passengers get onto the plane. So when the plane is docked, when it's parked, then you roll this up, and that helps the figures to get on or get off it. It's a little bit tall, and it's a little bit plain looking, but if kids like it, great. If they don't, take these 3 bricks off and make it into some other vehicle, or if you have some additional pieces of your own, then you can add use this base to add another cart or another trailer to the little baggage handling thing over here. Just add on to that. Last built things before we move on to the figures. They give you 4 really large orange pylons and some alternating light strips that you can use to indicate runways, so you can give those some width apart from each other and do a thing like that and try to create at least the edges of a runway space, or you can use them to mark off parking spaces. You can put them kind of like this to create multiple terminal locations, multiple docks, however you want to set that up. It's just something additional to give you a little more detail on the ground. Looking at the figures, here are the 2 pilots, or you could see one or both of them as flight attendants or airport security or customer service, working a ticket and check-in desk. I mean, these are sufficiently generic that you could easily give them any number of roles around the airport. Make one of them a taxi driver, even if you want. I mean, you can really use your imagination easily because these are sufficiently generic. The one on the right really reminds me of a classic policeman. It's just a very old styled looking figure to me. I like both of the torsos. Too bad there's no print on the back of the torso for the guy here, but it's okay. And no alternate faces for either of these, but 2 good figures in general. Here are 2 more airport employees, and they've got some high visibility gear on, so they can be operating out by the planes, outside and around the runway and doing maintenance and such. They have hard hats as well for the sake of safety, and one of these has an alternate face. Obviously, it's not the figure on the left, it's the figure on the right. So that's a pretty common face, actually, that they've used quite a number of times, and I think it's still pretty good because that face right there is very generic and useful. And yeah, again, 2 perfectly fine figures for what they are. Which brings me to the very last thing in the set, this passenger figure. He is a tourist who evidently is going from Billund, Denmark, out to Paris, France. They show the shortened airport name codes on that ticket. And that, again, that's a printed piece. There's only one of them included in the set, but I really, really like that piece. I like small printed stuff from Lego that represents real life items. So that's really nice to get, and I kind of feel like getting a second one of these sets to get just a bunch of these prints to spare, as well as that new piece of luggage. That's a really nice torso. Not new to this set, but it looks really good and pairs up with some nice contrast against the dark red legs. We don't see dark red legs used that much in non-licensed stuff, at least recently. I'm probably wrong about that, but I feel like I don't see a lot of those, but it looks good. Again, no alternate face here, but another just fine figure for what it is. And that's a lot of stuff for a single LEGO Juniors set, and it's a boxed set. It doesn't even come in one of those plastic tubs. It's truly a play set, isn't it? So many things that you can do with this. A bunch of kids can play with this simultaneously, so that's pretty nice if you have a household with multiple kids who are within the target age range or thereabouts, or older, of course. Lots of interesting prints here. Simple builds, but they're fine for each thing. You recognize what it is. You can play with it well. The terminal is exceptionally well done, especially for its size. I think there's a little bit of a miss with the inclusion of only 2 seats in the passenger plane. Like I said, they easily could have put 3 seats in there. I'm sure that the designer considered it, but decided against it to leave a little bit more space for fingers to get in there and more easily get the 2 figures in and out. But yeah, if you want to put 3 in there, there is room, so that's good. That plane looks a little bit boxy on the back. Neither of these have covers over the tops. If you want to, you can add some covers with just a couple pieces each that you need to add from your own collection. Possibly roofs from some cars can be used, but I support the decision that the designer went with to leave these open to let figures be put in and taken out easily. Overall, this is a good set. I think that it delivers a good value. My only real serious complaint about this, serious at all, is that when I first opened it up, like I said, it does have a lot of bags of parts. It has a lot of parts, and for the youngest kids who are able to handle bricks of this size, it can be intimidating for sure. So I strongly recommend that parents, if you're just trying to get kids to go from the Duplo level up to the Lego system level, you're trying to go through juniors, you want to start them out with something that's going to give a whole lot of play value. If they're just starting out, be patient with them and definitely give them a lot of guidance. Start with just that number one bag. They do list them out by bag. They take you in the instructions one bag at a time. Each bag completes things, so you don't have to open one bag, build half of something, open another bag, build another half. It doesn't get that complex. Just guide the kids through the process. Don't just dump this on them, and I think it'll help them to have more success. And then once they get through building stuff one time, hopefully they'll start taking stuff apart and making their own custom modifications to everything, and that's where the fun really begins. But that's it for my look at this set, built the way it's originally intended to be put together. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope that you got some entertainment or informative value out of this video, and I hope to have a chance to talk to you again very soon in my next one. Bye for now.